following is a presentation of MRE UNO, Division 1.
Hello everyone and welcome back to MRE UNO's Arcade April for MRE UNO Division 1. Here on the YouTube channel, we are in the Super 16 and the sectional finals round for this tournament here as the revive rounds are going to end. But we are still on the winner's path and we got two players looking to keep their runs going and we get all the way to the All-Star 8 here. It's a lower seeded match as it's going to be number 11 William Brock taking on number 15 Bob Ross in his D1 debut. Been going on a bit of a run here, bit of a tear, has been taking out a few good players from the early start of the season. So Bob Ross doing a lot. William Brock has been getting some wins along his path as well. With that, let's just kind of take a look at the bracket for both. For Brock, this has been a very weird token region, to say the least. This is the lower half of the token region. But yeah, Bob Ross with the 4-3 win over Sanford in the last round, and then the start 64 got the victory over number 2 Lara Huo. For William Brock, it was a win over number 6. I believe. Yeah, I think it was number 6. Let me check. I don't want to spew the wrong information here. Yes, number 6 Toaster Guy got the big one there, and then a bit of a weird situation with the round 32 had the DQ win over Bryan. Bryan ultimately no-showed. Brock advances by default, so Brock with a bit of a weird record at the moment. 1 win, 1 DQ win, and a loss, but he'll be looking to get make it 2 wins here and make it to the All-Star 8, something that I don't believe he has done since his big second place run in Tournament 5, Space September of 2024. So Brock looking to try to make it back there, get the win here. He'll actually have the higher seed here as Bob Ross coming in at the 15 line. Gonna be one of the lowest seeds left. We do have another 15 seed still alive in the bracket. Ridley up in the I believe it's the joystick. I believe it's the joystick region. It's joystick or the claw. Yes, the joystick region. So still some low seeds left in the mix here. And Ridley did beat Superior 5-3 on Monday morning. So we'll see if Bob Ross can make it to 15 seeds or if William Brock will try and keep the run going and I believe be the second or third 11 seed, I think, in league history across the board to make it to the regional finals / All-Star 8. Hasn't been done a lot by the 11 seeds. We'll see if Brock can do it here. But before we go into the table, let's take a look at a quick preview. Rookie V Master on the classes 8-4, 5-1 record on the tournament. Bob Ross with a 4-1 and the 4-3 win. William Brock with a 4-1 over Tosi and then the DQ win. First career round of 16 for Bob Ross. I think in terms of D2 though, he's 1-1 in this round, so bit of a mixed bag there. And then for Brock 1-2 on the D1 side. So both players with not a ton of reps in this specific round overall, but could create for an interesting environment here in this one. No accolade. It says no accolades on that one. Brock does have a silver from 2024, so that one is not correct. I'm not sure. Don't have it again. Some of these unfortunately got a bit rushed, but Brock does have that silver medal from 2024, so he does have an accolade. And then ironically, Bob Ross, not D1 one, but D2 has a silver also from Tournament 3 of last season. But for the CPU prediction, it actually went 5-4 Bob Ross, which is a little surprising, but I think some of the chaos and some of the big upsets Bob Ross has happened to kind of made the CPU freak out a little bit. But we'll have to see how it goes here. But we're going to go to the overlay. I'm joined by both our players who are ready to get these going. We had a bit of a delay due to situation with the fawn stuck in the fence. I do apologize about that, but we're good to go here now. Got both our players eager and ready to go. I'm going to bring it over to Brock first for his initial thoughts here as he's looking to make it back to the All-Star 8 for the first time since that aforementioned 2024 run. Brock, been admittedly a bit of a weird run for you so far. Had a great start in the start 64, but then the DQ win in the round of 32. You go into the round 16 against a big unknown on your side and Bob Ross here. Just kind of your thoughts heading into this one on what you feel you're expecting and how you're feeling going into this one as we begin the best of nines.
Well, considering what I'm expecting from my opponent, that I don't know. I mean, as you mentioned, this is the first time that I've ever faced him, but yeah, it's certainly a yeah. I didn't quite get to this point in the way I might have wanted, but I'll take it any way I can get.
Yeah, fair enough. Obviously, want to play that one out for the win, but the advance win is a win on that one. So looking to try to get the win the right way on this one here tonight. But going to Bob Ross here. Bob, we've been on a great run so far. Been really making the most of the jump early on after not being in tournament one. But coming into this one, just kind of how are you feeling? You've had you had a close call last round against Sanford. Anything you took from that match going into this one on what you got to do to try and keep this great run going and be the second 15 seed in the All-Star 8 in this tournament?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the Sanford game kind of helped me get my feel a bit more because that was a bit more, just a bit more of a grindy win for me. But I mean, yeah, I think like I'm slowly like starting. Okay, what's the word I'm looking for? Like I'm starting to find my play style or whatnot, and gonna probably just stick with that tonight and see if it can get me any further. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, type of thing. But yeah, Brock seems like a good player, a good guy, but I feel like I got all the momentum right now, so I'm gonna keep going.
All right. Well, we'll get this one. We'll get this one underway. Ironically, the revive game that was happening at 7 p.m. just ended before this even began, so that's a bit bizarre. Um, but anyways, we're gonna get this rolling. I need to initialize the box. I'm doing double duty on this one here. So let me just go and do that real quick. So ironically, since the other game ended, maybe we could have Royals pop in here for a little bit, but we'll see. All right, there's your turn order for the series and one power play. We're ready to get things going. Brock has the game one call.
Let's go with 10.
All right, straight down the middle on this one here. Gonna kick things off with a classic 10. Or, well, not OG classic, but just kind of classic straight down the middle. And we are underway. Yellow 2 will begin this match here. And Bob Ross is ready to go with the chalk. So 10 cards starting on the yellow 2 here. We'll see how Brock opens this one up, and is that going to be a switch right off the bat here? Does not want to start on that yellow, would rather go with the green to kick things off. Bob Ross going to roll with it for now with the green 8. Yeah, maybe this is it's kind of Brock just trying to set the pace early on the colors here. All right, Brock taking a second. Okay, wow, goes for a +4 on his second turn. So that is a very early +4. And Bob Ross is going to be up to 13 cards here. we'll see what Bob Ross does here, but it's an interesting move. Gonna switch the color into yellow. We'll deny him that red. Goes back to the original start. Keep going on the yellow here. Voiles hops in the call. Voiles, I just saw that revive match against KT Allen ended in like 2 seconds there, so if you want to hop in for reffing, let me know. But gonna keep going with game 1 here for the time being. Big run here from Brock. 3-card run into the red again. It's smooth sailing so far for Brock in the early going of this series. Looking to have connection so far. Maybe try to get his opening game win, but Bob Ross is gonna say hold it right there. I got a +6 for you here, and I'm gonna leave it open. So leaves the +6 open, putting himself at risk to get +8, and Brock will not do that. He'll just close the door on that. But Bob Ross with no yellow, but it works out it works out anyways, as he's able to get the switch back into red, and the game now is gonna be slight Brock lead, but Bob Ross is right there now. It was a bit of a big gap before him, but Bob Ross has brought it back with that +6. Didn't have to draw too much on that either. Red 9 from Brock. Just gonna keep rolling on the red numbers here. That +6 could shake up the game here and maybe do a bit of a reset, but we'll have to see what ends up going on in both players' hands as we get a crossover into the blue. Bob Ross tried to go into that green, but Brock said, I don't think so. And Bob Ross is just going to have to roll with the blue for now. Both kind of getting down on the cards once again. Brock for the second time, Bob Ross for his first time. 4, Bob Ross with a with another 0. I think he had the yellow 0 also earlier in the series, so that's 2 zeros from Bob Ross. And that leaves it where there's 1 0 remaining. Brock with the blue 7, cross over in the green, or not crosses in the green from Bob Ross. Is that what Brock wanted? We'll see. And did not seem it was gonna matter there, as Brock had the finish on that. Actually made it a turn earlier on that one. Bob Ross tried the +4 towards the end on that one, but the game was already over, so no +4 played on that one. Brock will make it 1-0, 4:26 early on in that. Brock, I mean, the only thing I gotta ask you on that one is, I mean, you got down to the wire early on there, but then got +6. Was the finish you were able to do similar to what you were gonna do before, or did you actually get that from the +6 handed to you around the midway point of this game?
Well, I was I was trying to run out all my blues and hoping he wouldn't switch colors, but thankfully he switched over to the green, and that gave me the chance to use the skip and then the +4 to use my last blue card.
All right, Bob Ross, I saw you tried to play the +4 there. Did you have a +4 in the hand you were hoping to hold on to potential, or was that just kind of minimal trolling potentially, to say the least?
Do I tell you? Okay, yeah, I guess I'll tell you.
You
Yeah,
don't.
I
I mean, you don't
drew
have
one.
to if
I
you
drew I
don't want
drew
to,
one
but
after he +4'd me.
cool.
But yeah, I mean, not much I could have done there. I didn't have much to subdue him at the time, so just we move.
Okay, so it ended up being an unplayable +4. All right. All right. Well, we'll go to game 2 here. Brock still with the call, up 1-0. Just can't pick 10. We'll see what he goes for to try to get 2-0 early on.
Let's try 8.
I think Foils might pop in here. I do see him typing. For now, do it. All right, game 2 underway. Here we go. And speaking of 8, we start with the blue 8. So 8s galore to kick this one off. But we'll see what Brock does this time. Game 1, he switched off the starting color right away. We'll see if he does that again or if he rolls with blue off the start. He is going to roll with blue this time. And that's going to be both players dittoing each other on the first turn. Both with the blue 4. Yeah, Brock vibing with the starting color this time around. Blue 7 from Bob Ross. Kind of just playing the blues here. I mean, both are just running it down on blue. I mean, if it's 3 straight turns, then Bob Ross is gonna break it up there, with the switch to green. But I think for both may have been done with blue at that point. We'll see. Now they're just running on green. Does this end up becoming a plan A for someone, or is there gonna be a drop? Some Brock drops out, gonna have to draw. Bob Ross keeps going. He's down to 3. Does Brock find the switch here, or does he once again draw? Or does he get a top deck? No, he is going to keep drawing. And now Bob Ross is out, so both out on the green 1. And 6 can be some early draw city here. Both trying to find an answer. Alright, and the wild yellow from Bob Ross, and suddenly he has found himself the Uno there, so a big top deck from his 1 draw. And he's put himself in a good spot. Brock with nothing. Can Bob Ross finish? No finish. He is 1 card short. Was hoping to get a switch or a number placed down and did not get it. Brock with the switch the yellow. Can Bob Ross get the Uno again? No, he's going to have to keep drawing. No yellow or 5. And I don't think that one worked out the way he was hoping for there, but still in a decent spot. Alright, Brock goes for the switch to blue. Bob Ross still stuck. No blue or yellow for Bob Ross. And now I feel like this blue will help Brock get something going now. Ooh, we got a self-ditto on that one. And Bob Ross, again, has top-decked a wild for the 2nd time this game. And now goes into red. But Brock is much closer now. However, Bob Ross does not have a lot of cards left. Brock is creeping in a little closer, though. But, I mean, if this is all numbers, it might be a little tough to find his way back in it. But maybe a chance there is some ammo in that hand. He is taking a second to type. Oh, and he has it right there. Gets to Uno on that one on the switch to blue, and that could put Bob Ross in a bad spot here. You're gonna have to draw. Does Brock have it on the blue or the switch? He has it on the blue 1, and that will make it 2-0 here. Brock gonna take the 2-0 lead in 4 minutes 18. So able to get that one done. Has the lineup towards the end there, and then just finishes it off with an additional number. So Brock doing a good job to overcome that. Bob Ross had two top deck wilds there, but unfortunately that was not enough in that case to get the win there. But it's gonna be 2-0 at this time. All right, so I mean, yeah, I mean for Brock, I mean just fell behind a bit early, but kept his head straight and was able to bring that one back down and ended up getting the win on that one. We'll see what Bob Ross does going into his homestand here, as currently 2-0 Brock at the moment, but we'll jump into that homestand now. We'll see what Bob Ross wants for the Game 3 call. Gonna go with 9 to start. Green 4 is gonna be the opening card for this one. I think for Bob Ross, it's gonna be important to try to get a win here, because 3-0 is definitely gonna be a bit scary. Wouldn't be match point, but we saw earlier today that once things get out of control, it could be long gone. We saw Nick with the big sweep over Caesar earlier today in a 5-0, so would not be unprecedented to see a sweep, but Bob Ross looking to avoid that. Ditto for both, and that's going to force Brock to draw. Bob Ross keeps it going on the green here, and that'll give him a definitive lead. Ooh, and a +4 from Bob Ross. I mean, Brock had an early +4 in game 1, so, and went on to win that one, so it could be maybe a similar line of thinking for Bob Ross here, but still a bit to go here. Brock up to 14, Bob Ross down to 4. And Brock with a triple play, looking to just kind of get those yellows out of his system. Cuts the lead a little bit here, but still going to open the floor for Bob Ross to keep on playing on yellow, and he will do just that. See what Brock does. Gets the switch into blue. Don't think we have seen that so far this game. We have not. We haven't seen the red either. So, especially with Bob Ross kind of low on the cards, bit of risky territory here. We'll see what Brock ends up having on this color. It's going to be a ditto play on the blue 1, so trying to see if we can force it out. Blue +2 from Bob Ross gets the Uno. Does he have it? And he has it with a +2 connection, actually. So, gets the plan A there, and Bob Ross gets one back pretty quickly. And gets that one done in 1:56. So, Bob Ross on the board. And you know, kind of interesting, because we did start on 9 and no reds for Bob Ross, but was able to avoid that color throughout the duration of that game. So yeah, quick plan A from Bob Ross. Don't got a whole lot to say on that one. I will say, though, on the stats, it's been interesting because we have a few interesting droughts for both players here. Brock with not a single wild so far. Well, even then, it's not necessarily a ton of wilds in play. Wilds or +4s in play at the moment. I mean, it's 2 and 3, but could always be a little higher. 2-1 of the +4s. Bob Ross with barely any reverse or skips, only has 1 reverse and no skips, and then Brock does not have a single +2 played to this point. So some interesting droughts early on. We'll see if that continues or if something will break through on those card categories for either player. But we'll keep things rolling here. Bob Ross has the game 4 call, just can't pick 9 now. We'll see what he decides to do. Going to try to make it 2-2, and he's going to go to the OG 7. Ooh, and we got the +4 start here. Is Bob Ross's start on this one, but the free choice start is big. Do they go for the culture also? It's been a mixed bag, especially across the upper division. All right, Bob Ross just gonna play it. Gonna go with the green 0. And Brock will roll with it here, but again, for Bob Ross, a big opportunity to make something happen and make it 2-2. Has the double play there. We'll go down to 4. Allows Brock to get the switch. Is that what Bob Ross wanted? Yes, he wanted the switch. He was able to cross over into the blue. Now, what does Brock do in the blue? Does he have another 3? Does he run blue? He will run blue. +2 from Bob Ross. Can he get another one quickly? Not quite yet. It is Uno, but Brock with 6 cards. What can he do? What can he do with those 6 cards? He's gonna switch it to red. Is it an ice or a fatal switch? It's a fatal switch on that one. And wow, Bob Ross getting 2 quick ones here. 2 sub 2 minute game wins on that one. That one, unfortunate for Brock, just not the switch he was wanting there, and gonna end up being Pandora's box on the end of that one, and Bob Ross able to capitalize on that. So unfortunate switch for Brock here, and so far it's been a home series. I mean, for Brock, kind of middle length games, but for Bob Ross has gotten 2 quick ones here. But we haven't even really deviated much on where we're going here, because most of these have been middle tier card starts, a little lower tier, I guess I would say, because I mean you got the 7 there, but it's been two slightly different homestands, but not too different. Bob Ross definitely getting those quick wins there, but we're kind of staying in the same card range so far. We'll see if Brock mixes it up in Game 5 or if we kind of stay in the same line of thought with where we're going. But again, I don't got a whole lot to say on that one. Unfortunate switch in the end there from Brock, but Brock's going to have the Game 5 call. Going to try to make it 3-2 here and keep this home series trend going.
Let's go with 12.
All right, so a bit of a jump. We're still in mid tier. This is upper mid tier though, and there's not an 11. We kind of were staying within kind of the collective range, but there is now a gap in between the cards we've played so far. But not gonna go up to 12. Gonna try a little higher card territory. Gonna roll with the green to start on this one. All right, green 3, green 6. Had a ditto there on the green 3 also. But yeah, both the green 3 and the green 6 are off the table for the remainder of this deck cycle, because both of those cards were played. Now we're just kind of going into some other green numbers here. Alright, what's Bob Ross do here? We've been running green for this start, but will one of these players decide it's time to mix it up? Alright, Bob Ross is going to switch it up here, goes into red. And Brock agrees, it's going to be a ditto on the red one. Both wanting that red right now. What does Bob Ross do? He's going to take a second to type. Do we have a run incoming? Yes, we do. Red reverse. And red 5. Alright, so it's going to be a double play on that one. That will give him the possession arrow lead, though. Both are down to 7. Ooh, and another wild from Bob Ross there. His 3rd of the series. Brock's still looking for his 1st. Ooh, and a big run there from Brock. He's going to retake that lead and make it definitive, as got the 4-card chain into yellow. And he's low on the cards now. Bob Ross looking to respond. And he will. Makes it a +2. Throws Brock back a little bit here, and another wild from Bob Ross. He will retake the lead and switches it into green. And Brock with his first wild, and he is oh god, my voice. And he is going to switch it into blue, which is what Brock actually switched it off of before. Bob Ross did not get a chance to play on this blue earlier, but now he is, and we'll see who has more blue. Bob Ross does have the possession arrow lead, but Bob Ross is going to have a +4 and looking to maybe end it. Yeah, green skip. I think this will do it. Yeah, there we go. Green 8, and Bob Ross with another game win on that one, and it's going to be the first away win. So, did that end up getting the lineup he wanted on that one, and yeah, it takes the win there. Brock got close towards the end on that, but ultimately it's going to be Bob Ross taking the victory there, and it's gonna be 3 straight for Bob Ross at the moment. I don't think we had any self draws in that game, so again, both are just kind of going on rails here. So we'll see if that ends up being the case as we keep going along. But 3-2 here for Brock. Gonna have to try to figure out a way to break this momentum from Bob Ross here, but we'll have to see how he does that. Again, I don't think I have a whole lot to ask on that one. Just kind of a straightforward game. Brock's still looking for his first +2 though. So we'll see if he can get that soon. I guess the only thing I gotta ask is, Brock, were you close to a finish, or were you just kind of going on the numbers there?
Well, I did have a +4, which I would have played into a red with the Uno, but then he dropped the green +4 and then the green skip, and I knew that was pretty much it.
All right, so Brock was kind of close there, but Bob Ross kind of getting the first jab on that one, just kind of ran with it on the +4 there. But that's kind of how it goes sometimes. But we'll go to game 6 here. Brock with the call. We'll see what he decides.
Well, I suppose I really haven't got much to lose, so
All right, well, full send here on the 15. And Brock is going to try to mix up the card starts here and get something going. And I think that's the second game where we had a ditto on the first turn here. This one's going to be on the green 7. But yeah, both running the green on the start here. We only saw one switch off pretty quickly, and that was in game 1. Since then, both have just kind of been going on the starting color for a good little bit, at least 2 or 3 turns. But yeah, it's been kind of interesting. Both players have been good with the starting colors so far. Oh man, a big run here from Brock. 4-card run, gonna be more. Throws a +6 in the middle of that one. That's how he won game. That's kind of how Bob Ross won game 1. But that's also gonna be the first 2 +2s from Brock, and it's gonna be a 5-card run there. Bob Ross up to 19 cards early on in this series, and Bob Ross is gonna go back into that green and try to see if Brock has the draw or not. Yeah, a big run early in this game from Brock here, trying to create some separation. He's going to use and throw some more ammo here, +4. Bob Ross up to 22 cards now, so we're going to have that comeback to try to fight for it. But a big gap early in this game 6 here. Brock is not spending any more time, not wasting any more time here, as he is needing to try to get this game win, and he's going to try to create some big separation. And Bob Ross is going to play a meanly placed down yell 4. So Bob Ross trying to go with the yellow there. Brock gonna continue with that, and I think that's gonna be a +2. Yeah, there it is. All right, +2 and then the yellow 6. So not throwing too many cards Brock's way right now. Just trying to throw a little bit to shake his hand up a little bit. Maybe throw in like a stray to kind of put him in a bad spot. But we'll see how that goes. Brock gonna switch it into the blue now. Take the +4 into the blue. We'll see if Bob Ross goes with the blue or maybe tries for a different color. Blue 6, blue 1, blue 5. Alright, keeps it going on the blues. Bob Ross saying fine, may go for a move here. Yeah, there's the +4, so Brock was down to 4 cards, wasn't feeling great on that one, so just gonna throw a few extra cards here to kind of keep this going, but we'll see if this ends up backfiring or if Brock is gonna be able to take advantage of the cards he receives. Yeah, just gonna be a +4 into a red 9. Red 3. And the red 5, so both just kind of going with red at this time. Brock's still with a pretty decent lead here, but Bob Ross slowly but surely trying to climb his way back into this game. Yeah, but if Bob Ross can get this game win, that's going to be huge, not only for the 22-card comeback, but it's going to be 4-2, and he'll have the homestand for the next 2 games, so that'll put him in a great spot, but Brock looking to do what he can to prevent that. Red 5 from Bob Ross. Brock is out on the red, though. Runs out on 5. Now he's going to be looking to get out of this red. And he's going to top deck a red 4, which ends up being a ditto. Now what does Bob Ross do? He's going to switch in the green, so he's going to initiate the switch himself. Got a few people popping in here for this game as it goes along, and I believe Scars hopped in, and so did Nick. I'm not sure who hopped in for that specific one. One of them was here for a bit, and I didn't notice, but green skip, green 3 from Brock, so a double play there on that switch. See what Bob Ross does. Bob Ross is getting a little concerned. Has another +4. And forgot to put the color here, so he's going to have to make it a color. And he's going to elect to keep it on green, so it's going to be just purely to throw 4 more cards in his hand. We'll see what he does here. He's going to get down to at least 9. Right, now what does Bob Ross do? Green 0. And wow, Brock is actually going to go with the yellow here. With the yellow 0. So I don't know if that was necessarily what Bob Ross was expecting there, but we'll see how he adjusts. He's gonna just play with the play the yellow 7. Yeah, but Brock's just gonna keep rolling on this yellow. On this yellow here. Yeah. Yeah, just gonna keep rolling the yellow. But now Bob Ross gets to switch back in the green. Alright, both running green here on the numbers. Brock with the lead, kind of getting back to the area he was before. I don't know if Bob Ross is going to have another trick up his sleeve here with another +4, so he's probably going to have to work the numbers here to try to keep Brock out, but Bob Ross has no reds, so he is going to have to draw. But neither does Brock. Brock switches into red, had the stray red too, was hoping to maybe get a number placement to get out of there quickly, but Bob Ross with nothing, Brock with nothing, both drawing. Brock with a top deck red 3 though. And that red 3 is going to be big, as he is going to be able to switch it into blue. This has been this one's been the longest game so far. Bit of a back and forth, and I think for both players a very important game. Oh, and that's a mistake from Bob Ross. Did not want that one. Tries to go for yellow 5, and that is Not the card you can play there, so not the mistake you want to make there. Blue 5, bit of an expose on that one. Gonna need Brock to draw there. And he will not draw, so leaves that card exposed for now. But Brock's at Uno. We'll see what Bob Ross does here. Blue reverse, and I think he might have a chain into yellow. Is this what Brock wants, though? Is this going to be another fatal switch? Bob Ross says BRB and a call in the middle of a chain. Yellow reverse. And then there's the yellow 5. Does Brock draw or does he win it on this? He does not. It's going to be an ice, so this yellow ends up working out for Bob Ross there. Keeps the game alive, and now he's going to run on yellow. Brock is in top deck territory, though. Both are down to 2. Brock with no yellow. Can Bob Ross get the Uno? He does. On the ditto. Brock needs a top deck here. Can't power play on Uno. It's also a best of 9, so series isn't over if this game goes to Bob Ross. And Bob Ross is out, does not have the finish, falls 1 card short. Yellow 8 from Brock gets the top deck there. Does Bob Ross get a top deck? He may have gotten the top deck. He is in disbelief. Oh no. That looked to be what Bob Ross was wanting for the finish there. Oh, and a crossover the blue from Brock. Past double-digit minutes on this one. And ice on that one. Bob Ross may have been able to run it on green, but Brock says no, and now Brock's at Uno. What does Bob Ross have on that top deck? Nothing. Does Brock have the finish? No, he doesn't. Oh man, both are just 1 card short. And now Bob Ross with another top deck. Can he find a way to switch the color and get the Uno? Or does Brock have another top deck? Brock gets to switch in the red for Uno. Now Bob Ross is at Uno. Oh my gosh. And the wild top deck from Brock to end it. And he will make it 3-3. Wow, what an ending to that one. A crazy 3-minute ending stretch on that one, as that one ends in 11 minutes and 3 seconds. But wow, what a really great back and forth on that one. Brock gonna deny Bob Ross the 22 card comeback, and again was able to get the original switch he wanted with the red, but top deck the wild, so it was in a great spot no matter what. But wow, what a run to the end there for both. But Brock, I'm going to go to you first. Just kind of walk me through your thoughts through that last sequence there, as both of you were trading Unos back and forth.
Yeah, that was the toughest game in this series I've ever gone through. This pretty much, I mean, this was a fight to keep the series alive, and I was begging I was hoping that he would not have any +2s or +4s, which thankfully he didn't, and thankfully he managed to play into my hand.
All right, Bob Ross, you were at 1 card left in that one. Which was the card needed on that one? You also said twice you needed the card played by Brock one turn earlier, but in that sequence, what was the last card there that you needed to try and get that win?
I had another red, so I was 1 turn away.
All right, so
If
Brock
you were
able to
there, I
get
would have
the
won.
Brock able to get the slight edge there on that one, but disappointment for there. Bob Ross had it right there, but just did not have the lineup. But Brock gonna make it tied up once again at 3-3 here. Home call is gonna go to Bob Ross now here in a very critical game 7. Winner of this gets the match point, but we'll see who wins it. Bob Ross gonna go with 9. You can't go 9. You can't go 9. You can't go 9. Bob Ross won on 9. Oh man. Jesus. Yeah, that's not what we need. Okay. Bob Ross. We can do a higher card turn. You just draw on the first like turns. But yeah, you can't pick 7, 9, or 12. Yeah, I know. Bob. 10. Well, 10's an option. Also, you could pick 10 as well. Just you're gonna ask Bob Ross what do you want. He can't pick 9 though, and at this point can't go for a card sort of lower than 9. Yes, you could do that. That's fine.
Wait, sorry, my mom called me, so I wasn't listening to the call for a second. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, if you want to go with 10, we'll have both of you just draw the first turn, and then we'll play.
Okay.
Alright. Draw there, draw there. All right, now we'll go. So we'll have to make a note on the log to change that to 10, but all right. So game starts on green 4. Now we're going, but technically both players will see what their 10th card ends up being. And okay, Brock gonna waste no time here with the double play with the +2. So there's 2 more cards in Bob Ross's hand. We'll see how Brock manages that as he'll take the lead. Bob Ross with the green 9, going to be 8 to 10 at the moment. Both players still have their power play. We'll see if either decides to use it in this game or if they hold on to it. Draw from Brock, nothing left on the green. Green reverse from Bob Ross. Into the yellow reverse. Alright, the 3 cards switch into yellow. I think that will give Bob Ross the lead. And it will. But Brock's freed up now on this yellow. And this may turn into a 3-card game. Or a 3-color game. I said 3-card. My apologies. But Brock would switch in the blue. Only red has not been seen so far. Yeah, we're just going to keep going on blue. Got a ditto play there, though. If Bob Ross looking for another run here. Blue skip, blue +2. There's a few cards down, and then the blue 7. Yeah, technically, Bob Ross went back to 10 here, which is the first time we returned to a card start here. And it's got a ditto play, and that's going to force Bob Ross to draw on 2 cards. Alright, Brock going to keep going on blue. Blue 0. Another draw from Bob Ross. It's still drawing. No blue cannot find his way out of this blue here, and Brock, in the meantime, is going to snatch the lead away from Bob Ross. If he has a play, he does, and it's going to be the switch, so switches in the yellow to take the lead. Still no red and still no yellow for Bob Ross here, as he has no blue or yellow. Disaster for Bob Ross. Was down to 2 cards and now cannot find any cards to play. Well, Brock just kind of keeps on rolling by. Still drawing from Bob Ross. Cannot find a switch. have not seen red yet. I'm wondering if he's having some red in his hand, and the lack of it on the table right now could be to his detriment. Or maybe no one has red, who knows. Brock taking a second to type here. He is going to have the switch into red with the +4, and that will likely do it with a 3-card finish. And this is actually going to be another 4-minute game or so on the clock. Minus 118. Yeah, that's going to be 4:04. So, yeah, 10 cards start 4:04. Those are the changes on that one. But Brock with his second straight here has a bit of a sandwich on this one. Going to be 4-3 and Brock at match point. So, yeah, able to kind of get that line up there and got it done. Again, just kind of ran it down there. Went behind a bit early, but didn't get too frazzled. But in the end, Brock able to kind of run down to the finish and get it done. So, I guess Brock, only question I have is, was the +4 on the start, or was it on one of your draws? Because I think you drew 3 cards in that game, 2 from the +2, and then 1 from a self draw.
Yeah, I think the +4 came from the draw. Oh, well, no, that didn't come from the draw. Um, I had it from the start of the game, and I was waiting to use it at the very end, and thankfully he didn't have any +4s of his own, so I was able to seal the win.
All right. Well, yeah, kind of looking back at the series stats right now here, going into game 8. Getting close to 100 cards played on both sides. 2-4 on the Wilds, but Wild +4s have evened out. Still a lead for Bob Ross on the +2. Brock has a few there on his name. On his name though that he's played, and then Brock with the lead on the reverse skips. So, evening out a little bit as we go along here, but we'll see how this one goes as we go to game 8. Bob Ross needing to get the win to force game 9. So we'll see what he goes for here. And again, reminder, we're in the sectional finals here, so for this one, whoever loses, there will not be a revive game waiting for them. It will be tournament over for them. So Bob Ross going for the no send here, gonna go for a big risk on a back against the wall kind of game. So we'll see how this goes. He rolls the dice, and we'll see if he gets a gets doubles, or if he gets not a great roll. We'll see. Green 7 off the start. So it does play. What's Brock have here? He is typing. Gonna be a switch in the blue. Gonna switch right away. And a ditto from Bob Ross. He wanted that switch to the blue as well. Oh, we're just getting a bunch of 7s here as Brock switches into the red now. And Bob Ross is gonna power play. Red 1. And then the switch into yellow. No finish there yet from Bob Ross, but does it indirect power play? Maybe could be looking for the finish here. And yeah, there's the Uno call. I was about to say he did not call Uno. Brock does not go for the call out there, but Bob Ross saving himself after the stall on, or the delayed Uno. Yeah, nothing from Brock there, just a yellow reverse. Or no, he actually forgot to place the play there, so the yellow reverse didn't even go. So it's still in his hand. Yeah, Bob Ross uses power play, does not get the finish though, and for Brock actually the mistype that actually allowed him to close the yellow reverse now. Bob Ross kind of could be in a similar spot he was before, where it's just kind of stuck in low tier, but he is still gonna keep drawing. So does Brock. Does not seem like either player got a monster hand on this no send here, so they're both just kind of climbing back up with the draws, kind of rebuilding that hand here, and we'll see what happens when the game resumes. Usually, pretty much when we get a switch out of yellow. All right, and the top deck from Brock with the wild goes into green, so that'll break things up here. Both were at 7 here, and now Brock ready to get things going once again. We'll see what both players drew. Green verse from Bob Ross. And a +4 from Bob Ross goes into blue, and gonna leave it with a 3-card run. Now Brock up to 10 cards. All right, +2 from Brock, trying to bring it, trying to levy it over. And this game is kind of running for a bit here, but I will mention the other stream for tonight over in the Claw Regional the Claw Regional should be starting soon. That one between Mac Johnson and Sean Ard. So technically, it would be 2 streams running at once here if this game keeps going for a while. But yeah, that one will be over the Claw region and also in Watch Party 1. That's also why we're having this this stream match in Watch Party 2, just in case it ran long, so we could kind of have the other one start on time. But Brock tried to switch it out of blue after drawing with the yellow, crossover into red from Bob Ross. And now both going to run red, Bob Ross, and Bob Ross looks to have the 3-card finish here and looking to force this game 9 and another +4 for good measure here, and that'll do it. So we are now going to game 9 here, and yeah, gonna be a all for the marbles here in game 9 as we are tied at 4-4, but I think that's the first game 9 we have seen this round so far, because we had 2 blowouts and then a kind of close game with Ridley to Pier. So this is it, game 9. Bob Ross, you mentioned you should not have won that game. If you'd like to elaborate on that a little more, let us know.
Actually, okay, I guess it wasn't that bad. The first blend, I only made 2 blunders. The first one was picking 5 cards. That probably wasn't my best decision, and the power play was kind of just a bit of a panic spray because I was scared he was gonna have a 4 whatever card finish to end it, so I just power played to stall it, but ended up not needing it. But it is what it is. Got really lucky. Pulled 2 +4s out of nowhere. That was nice. But yeah, just moving on to game 9.
Alright, Brock, going into game 9 here, you have the call. Just kind of your thoughts heading into this one, especially with the power play advantage. Still have the power play in your pocket here, and you do have the call. Just kind of feelings going into this game 9 here, as it will be winner takes all.
Man, if only he didn't have that skips and +4s. I wished I had played my +2s earlier.
All right,
well,
had some.
well, 1 +2 I had.
Okay. Yeah, I had 1+2 there. But yeah, sometimes in those situations don't really know when the right call is to use it. But this is it, game 9. For all the marbles here, Brock has the call. He just cannot. Let me pull it up. He just cannot pick 8, 10, 15, or 9. So for all the full send game 9 enthusiasts, we will not get that here tonight. But we'll see what Brock decides to go forward here for the final game of the series.
Go 13.
The OG full send, so in a way we did get it, but all right, blue 9 for the start, and this is it. whatever hand both players got here, that is the hand they're going to have to work with to get this series win and move on to the All-Star 8, as Brock going to open up with a blue 1. And the blue 7 from Bob Ross are both just running the blue numbers once again. Alright, gonna keep going here. Blue 4, blue 3, and blue 0. So we're just gonna keep going with the blue numbers. Gonna have to see how the power play differential is gonna factor into things here. Again, Bob Ross used his power play in game 8. Brock still has his, so Brock, with potentially a little bit of an advantage, could use that power play either to block Bob Ross from a finish or get the finish a turn earlier. So we'll see how that comes into effect. But Bob Ross with the blue 8. And a +4 from Brock, early +4 there. First big swing of game 9. Gonna go into red. And Bob Ross gonna shut that red down with a switch to green. He'll look to try to force Brock the draw. And gonna get another 2 cards as a result of that switch. So that one did not work for Bob Ross in the moment. He's up to 15 now. Green 7 from Bob Ross. And that's going to allow the switch to yellow from Brock. So Brock still keeps going. He is down to 5 cards. Again, looking for that first All-Star 8 appearance since 2024 T5. He might be close. He could feel it. Bob Ross trying to do what he can to stop him, as he's going to play a wild into blue. And that one's going to work here, as Brock has no blue and he's going to have to draw. Now what's Bob Ross do on this blue? Maybe looking to try to utilize it to his best abilities and as much as he can. He's going to throw down a +2 to start, and another +2. He has both blue +2s, makes it a +6. And that blue switch is going to end up being 6 extra cards in Brock's hand here, and Bob Ross has now taken the lead. Yeah, those +6, that +6 is definitely going to give a few cards to Brock in blue, so we'll be able to play for now. Question is who runs out for it. Bob Ross has ran out, so that's ultimately a move to try to throw Brock back a little bit. Now he's going to have to look for a switch. And Brock's going to give it with the wild, so it goes into yellow. But this is now an even table, so still anyone's game at the moment. Yellow 4 from Bob Ross, both at 10 cards left. And now we're just kind of running the numbers at the yellow 0. The 0 gets placed down. Alright, gonna keep placing down the numbers here. Not wanting to do anything too crazy. Switch the red from Brock. A crossover in the green now from Bob Ross. Trying to switch things up. Denying the red from Brock. Brock's going to have the other red one, though. Going to cross back over. Says, I don't think so. Brock wants that red, and Bob Ross will give it to him. Alright, red 0 from Brock. Looking to run this red. Both are still tied, but Brock has the possession arrow lead. Past 5 minutes in this game. Could be getting down to the wire. And a +4 from Bob Ross. Big +4 from Bob Ross here. Goes into yellow. Gonna break things up once again. Yellow reverse run's gonna keep on going. It's gonna be a 3-card run in yellow. 4 to 10 here. We'll see what Brock does. Has 4 extra cards in the hand. I believe the other stream is starting soon. 4-card run, so he's just going to negate that +4 right away with 4 reverses. Goes into red as well. That maybe could have been the finish here, so maybe that was the right call from Bob Ross to go for the +4 in that moment. We'll have to see after the game ends, but Brock taking a bit to get this next part out. See if there's more to it or if it's just going to be a number. Oh, he tried the power, but he can't power play. He had the power play at the start of the turn. So can't use it mid-chain. It's going to be a big run here, but based off trying to use it, oh wow, and it's going to be another 4 cards here. Wow, that is a lot there, but I think Bob Ross potentially saved himself from a power play finish before, but he based off the attempt from Brock, he is trying for something here, and Bob Ross just going to play the red 3. Bob Ross hoping for the best, and which but I don't know if he had enough there, but that'll do it. +4 gonna end it, and wow, I mean an 8-card finish, 8-card chain to respond after getting +4, and then finished it with the +4 on the next turn. So Brock gonna move on there for Bob Ross. His tournament debut, is D1 debut, gonna come to an end, but a good run for him, all things considered. First question I want to ask for Brock there, or actually Bob Ross, since you have to leave, I'm gonna ask you a quick question here before you go. Did you have anything there that could have counteracted that better, or what were you just kind of stuck with numbers there, and it was just kind of along for the ride?
No, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't really have much. I mean, I had the +4s, but like I kind of had to use those up early to kind of prevent him from finishing the game even earlier than he did. So yeah, there wasn't much I could have done there at the end. It was kind of his game since the start of that game. That is what it is. All right, I gotta go. Bye, guys.
All right, fair enough. Thank you. We'll let you go there. Bob Ross gonna end his run here in the Super 16. But for Brock, it is return to the All-Star 8 here as he wins it in 9. Brock, gonna ask you this. Before we saw you have the 8-card run there. My guess is you were very close to the finish there before the +4 was played from Bob Ross. But just kind of walk me through how that game went for you, and what you start with, what you end up starting with on that one, and especially on that +4 there, what you end up picking up to kind of help you get to that win.
Um, well, the red +2s and the skip helped, and especially those 4 reverse cards I used, and I was just banking on him not, as with the other games, banking on him not having any +2s or +4s, and sure enough, he didn't, and thankfully I had that +4 saved in my pocket, to give me the win.
All right, Brock, you move on to face either the winner of Lane Sanders and Yoshi Awesome. Going to be your first All-Star 8 / regional final appearance since your big run back in 2024. thoughts kind of going into that match here, and what you're feeling going into that one as you have a chance to make it back to the Final Four for the first time in quite a little bit here, but got a good shot here with a good run you've been on so far.
Yeah, I'm certainly looking forward to the next round, considering, it's been a while since I've made it that far, and yeah, hopefully I can make it all the way to the final and come out on top.
All right, 43-16. Thank you. All right, well, congratulations, Brock, on the victory here. Gonna keep your run going, but that'll do it for this stream. We got another stream starting up. I think actually right now as that Mac and Art will be getting underway very briefly. That'll be with Short and Tapir, I think, as well. So, going to be in Drive City on that one, although I'm not sure where Tapir is. Tapir may not be here right now, so we'll see we'll see if Tapir shows up, and that'll be the first drives in quite a while for that one, but that's coming up very soon. But for myself, thank you all so much for watching this stream. Congrats to William Brock on the win and make it to the All-Star 8. Again, he'll play the winner of Yoshi and Lane, so we'll see who gets the job done there. But until then, on behalf of the MRE UNO team, including our refs, commentators, our players, and everyone else who came out to watch this stream, thank you all so much for watching. And we will see you in like 2 minutes with our next stream match. Gonna be Mac versus Ard. We'll see who ends up making it to the Claw regional final here. Winner of that game will end up facing the winner winner of that game will face myself, actually, so I will be awaiting my opponent in that one. But we'll see who gets it done. That should hopefully be another good match to follow up this one. But until then, I'm G-Man. Peace out, everyone, and have a great night.
This has been a presentation of MRE UNO Division 1.